Hi, I'm Santi. Welcome back to the session of web designing. So in the last session we have seen how we can create a menu, paragraph or a heading using a heading tags or paragraph tags or menu tags. So first, if you see here, you have something in the menu, that is you have background color, you have a logo, you have some colors for your menus and all, and it is arranged one beside the other. But when you see our menu, it is one below the other and it has some dotted points also. So what we will be doing is we'll be adding some styles to our menu. So first let's go to menu.html. I'll just remove the ordered list, so we'll be left with the nav bar that we use for navigation, and ul, that is unordered list, and li, that is for list items. So now just go to style.css. Here first I'll start with my menu item. So here, how can I give a property for your particular element? So you can give it in three ways. That is, you can use your tag name, or you can use class name, or you can use id name. What is that? Let me show you. So this is your tag name, that is head or body. So what I can do is, if I wanted a color for my whole website, that is a background color, I can directly go to style.css and I can directly just write body open and flower brackets, because we use open and flower brackets in CSS, so that our browser can read it easily. So what we are planning to do is background color. So I'll change my background color to, I'll change it to this one. So if I just go here and refresh, you can see that my background changed from plain white to some color that I have mentioned here, that is pale golden grout. So this is how you can give a basic properties for your tag. So next what I said was a class. So what I'll do is just go to menu.html, and if at all I am using more than one UL element, that is I have used one UL inside a nav and I will be using another UL outside the nav. Okay, so if I just directly give a tag, that is UL, I can see background color is red, and if I just refresh this, you can see that I got two colors. But whereas I just wanted the background color for this element and I don't want for this element. For such particular conditions, what we'll do is we'll just mention something called as class. Since we already have the class here, you can use the class anywhere, so I'll just use a class here. So you can give any name to your class, but you should remember what you have given for that particular. Since it is a menu, I'll just say menu. Okay, so now when I go to style.css, I just change this to dot menu. So this is how you represent a class in CSS. So if you see, for a tag it is directly, for a class you need to mention a dot. So if I just refresh, you see the red color for this UL has been removed and there is a red color for this UL as a background. So this is how your menu works. This is how your class works. And you have something also called ID. So if I say ID is equals to inner, and I wanted to apply as properties here, so it will be hash inner. Why we are using hash here is we will be the ID is defined using hash. Yeah, so here again I can give a different background color. Let's say green. So when I just refresh, you can see that I got some inner background colors also. So if you consider this, so the first priority is for the ID, the second priority is for the class, the third priority is for the tag. What is that and how does those things works, you will be seeing in the coming sessions. So initially first we need to give the background color. So whenever you are designing a website, you need to have a proper color palette or a color selections. Color selections is nothing but you need to have a proper 4 to 5 colors that will be using around the website. So we won't be using multiple colors so that it distracts the end users from being in our website. So for that what we can do is we need to have some cool colors depending on your website genre, whatever kind of website you are doing. So for that you have something called color palette. You can search in Google, you will get for that. So you can go for this also, or colors.co, whichever you like. So this is a pattern. So if you see, you have 4 different colors here also 4 different colors. So what we can do is we can go from here to here or from here to here. So what I'll do is I'll take this. So this will be my background, this will be my secondary background, this will be my third, and this will be the text that I'll be using. So if you see here, so I'll be just replacing this with this. And I'll refresh. So I got my background here. So if you see here, you might be getting it out that okay, what is this? It's like some XYZ ABC. So whenever you're mentioning a color in HTML, you have 3 ways to mention them. So let me show you the multiple ways. The first one is the basic, that you have already seen. Naming giving a direct name, that is red, blue, green. These are called plain colors, or you can name it directly. So this is your first way of representing. Second way is using hexadecimal value. So hexadecimal value is nothing but this, which should be defined with hash. So if you remove hash, it won't get effect, it won't be showing you. So if I just remove hash and refresh, you see my whole thing got covered with red, because my menu is a major part here. So I have given red here, my background color. So if I just mention hash, again I'll come back to this. So the third one is using RGB. RGB is nothing but red, green, blue percentages. RGB. So you can get an RGB color for the same. So to RGB. So you see, this is how your RGB looks. So this is how your RGB works. If not, you have other option also called RGBA. A is nothing but your opacity. So how much opacity it is given. RGBA. So comma, you have 2 options. Minimum is 0 and maximum is 1. So if I mention 0 here, and I'll just remove these lines. So when I refresh, you see you got nothing, that is white. So what I will do is I'll just change it to 0.5. if I, yeah. So what happens here is when I refresh, you see you got a little pale color. Now when I change it to 1, yeah, never forget to close. You see, this is a darker version. I mean, like the dark color. So what it shows is whenever I keep 0, the opacity is 0, so you won't get any display. And whenever I keep 0.5, the opacity is 50%, so you will get some pale color. When I apply 1, the opacity is 100%, so you will get the original color. So where can we use these kind of things? I will show you. So initially we have given this color. So next my background color, menu color will be this one, menu background color. So I'll just go with hash and I'll just paste the color. So when I just refresh it, yes, I got it. So I'll just remove the background color for this. Sorry. So we have achieved 2 tasks here. So let me just remove this unordered list. So one, we have given our background color. Second, we have given a background color for our menu. So if you see here, you have some spacing on the top, but whereas it doesn't have any spacing. So for that, you need to know what is that stopping. I mean, like what is that stopping from having no spacing. So what you can do is you can inspect your page and see what are the properties that the browser adds. So there are some default properties that browser adds whenever you are not defining it in advance. So if I just right click and just do an inspect, you can see that you have an HTML, inside that you have head, inside that you have something called body. So whenever you click on the body, you see that you have some orange color surrounded onto your blue color. So if I go here, you can see that it says margin 8 pixels. So what I'll do is I'll just go to repel, go to style.css, under body I'll mention another property. So inside one you can mention different properties, but for a particular tag only. So I'll say margin is 0 pixels. So when I say margin 0 pixels and then just refresh, you see my left and right spacing has gone. So you have still spacing on the top. Just click on inspect and see where that spacing is coming from. You see it is coming from UL. So by default it is giving some margin on the start and the bottom. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just remove it. So we can't directly give it, so we'll give it in the menu. So what here, if you see, the property was margin. So again what we'll do is here the same, margin 0 pixels. So now we have achieved our task. So the next part is we need to make our menu side by side. For that again we'll go here. You have some properties for li, that is, so you have two ways of giving a HCSS properties. One is giving directly your class name. So in order to, if at all you are using the same class name multiple times but you wanted a different approach, so you can come from the parent class. That is, if you say you have your parent tag as nav, inside nav you have something called dot menu, inside that you have something called li. So if I show you here, so nav is your parent, menu is your class, inside that you have something called li. So that is that's what I was showing here. So here you have something called list style. It is none. So when I say this and when I refresh, you see my dots gone. So what I'm saying is don't show any list or don't apply any style to my lists. Next is I'll be using a property called float left. So when I do this, if you see I got all the elements side by side, but if you observe, my background color is also gone. So what we can do for that is, for menu we need to mention a height. So height should be minimum 70 pixels and maximum 120 pixels. So I'll say 90 pixels. So it is very huge. So what I'll do is I'll just change it to 70 pixels. I can still reduce it. I'll just use a default one, that is, you can even use 10 pixels, but it won't be that much visible. And so I have given the height. Now if you see here, everything is clumsy. You don't have any spacing between them. So what we can do is, again, just go here and we'll say so you might be looking like what happened just. So this is nothing but a padding. So padding is nothing but you giving a wire space around your element. So you have two things, one is a padding, one is a margin. So padding is given inside your element, and margin is given outside your element. So if you consider a packaging, so if you get a thermocols, that is your padding inside your box, and whatever you use outside the box is considered as a margin. So for a proper explanation, if you just inspect it, so here you can see that you have something called margin, border, padding. So this is your margin. Since we haven't applied any margin to this, you won't see that. And this is your padding. Since we have given padding to the element, you can see the green color. We haven't given any border, so you won't see that. Since we have given any margin also, you won't see that, because you see we have given margin as 0. And if you can see here, you have seen something called px. Px is nothing but a pixels. So whenever you mention your values in web designing, you have certain properties or certain measurements that you can use. One is px, that is called pixels. So your screen resolution, everything depends on your pixel resolutions. So there you can use your pixel, or you have something called em. You can also use em instead of pixels. So let me show you how an em works. So if I just replace px with em, you see you got more spacing. So if you wanted to use em, I will tell you the difference between an em and px. So now if you see this, you got a little bit good look compared to the last one. So this is how you can use, depending on your requirement. You can use pixels or em or point or percentages also. So if you see here, it is onto your right, but here it is onto your left. So for that you have something called text align and mention right. Okay, so you have given a properties to li. So whenever you do a properties don't get applied, you can just do an inspect and you can directly apply here whatever you are looking for. So if I just say text align right, see it is not getting applied here. So try here. This is nothing but how much you try, you get that much of experience over this and the understanding. So why it is not getting applied or not, I'll show you in the coming sessions. The reason is we haven't created another div here for this particular li. So again I'll show you how to add a logo to your menu. Okay, so let's say for that you just go to menu.html. You need to create two divs inside this. Sorry. So we are creating two partitions. One is for the menu and one is for the logo. And see that your code looks exactly like this. This is called indentation, so that whenever some other person looks at your code, he won't be confused. So what I'll do is I'll just add an image. So I'll just go to Google, I'll just copy the image address, I'll just paste it here. So if you see here, the tag that I have been used is image tag. It starts with img. It is an opening and closing tag, and you can have a specific properties for this. What are those? I'll show you. If I just refresh, you can see that you have this much of big tag. Okay, so what we can do here is, if you see, you can see that you have two different things here. One is like, you see, you have background for your menu only, but your image doesn't get the background, that is logo doesn't get the background. The reason here is we have applied it for the menu. So what we'll do is we'll just change our menu to nav. Now refresh. Now you see you got everything here, but one below the other. How can we adjust it? I'll show you. So what's happening here is my image is at its 100%, that is full length and full width. So to adjust that, what I can do is just go to menu.html, and here I'll say width. I can give it in percentages, so I'll say 50%. Since we are given a particular height, we'll be saying that 50 pixel is my height. So I'll also give 50 pixel as width, and for height I'll give 50 pixels, and for width I'll give auto. So what does this do is, the browser automatically adjusts your logo using aspect ratio. So now my logo height and width is, I'll show you. So my original is 272 by 92, but when I applied the properties, it came to 148 by 50. So next our part is, I need to get that here. So what I'll say is, go to style.css. I have another requirement. What I'll say is nav div width 50%, float left. When I refresh this, you see you got it here. And how is it working is, your logo part is 50% and your menu part is 50%. We have two divs, so whenever you resize it, it will occupy in the same thing. So this is a basic starting of your responsiveness, or you can say that this is how you can manage your layouts using percentages. Why we are not mentioning any particular px or em is because we don't know the exact resolution what our end users will be opening. He can open it in a mobile, or he can open it in a tab, or you can open it in a 4K resolution TVs and all. So now what we can do is, I'll just inspect. If you see here, you see you got menu, and this is little bit up and down. Okay, so again what I need to do is, for menu I need to remove the margin. say dot menu margin 0 pixels. So once I remove the margin, you see now it is perfect set. Now if you see, I can't I mean like the color is not blending here, so I'll just again go back to this. I'll just copy this, and what I'll say is whatever is inside this, I want the color to be this color, and I just reload it. You see I got the color change, and now everything is blending except the logo because it has multiple colors. So again this logo depends on your company website, so depending on your logo you need to select your colors. Since this is a normal one, I'm just giving you a basic explanation. So let's meet up in the next session. Until then, just keep practicing. This is your code source where you can look for reference points and all. So until then, bye.